So I've always been really hesitant to put things on a chart or whatever because I think people need to learn how to do it themselves. I don't think it's proper for me to say, okay, this is exactly what you need to do. This is exactly what you need to do in this spot, and look at it on the chart, and this will tell you what to do. I think you need to come up with your own sort of thing that feels right. But I also know that when people start playing and they begin playing, they're not always sure. And so I think it's good to have this guideline, this base for people to have. So for some people, this might be like a little uninteresting. It doesn't, whatever. It doesn't tell you this, it doesn't give you a lot of information. But I think for the person who's maybe switching from cash games to MTTs, it's really helpful. And for people just to understand what a stack size means and why. And so just to give you an idea, most tournaments, you start with probably 100, 150 big blinds. And depending on whether it's a turbo or not, you quickly get down to, usually I would say, the average online tournament in the lower stakes especially is probably like, 50 to 60 big blinds, a very healthy, good stack. And usually average is somewhere around 20. And so, the above average is in between 20 and 50. And then the below averages is, anywhere from 10 to 20 to 0. But typically I think as a good player, unless it's a turbo, I really don't think you should ever really be at 9 or 8 big blinds more than a few hands. Like, your strategy for 9 or 8 or 10 big blinds is really just a push fold strategy. And this isn't a, what hands to push fold in different ranges. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, somebody came out with a shove chart. I don't even know the name, to be honest, but somebody came out with a shove chart. It was kind of done secretly, and it quickly, this chart just circulated through the internet, and they'd calculated all the mathematical probabilities of when to shove where and whatever. I don't think this is necessarily that, because I don't think this is going to actually tell you, when to shove or when to do anything. It's really just going to be a guideline for when you can do certain things. So, having said all that, I'm going to get into sort of the nitty-gritty of it, and I'm going to go through the first sort of thing. So you can see down here I have all the different things you can do. 3-bet folding, opening wide from early position, 4-bet bluffing, blind stealing from late position, 3-bet bluffing, calling raises, not in the blinds, calling raises in the big blind, and then set mining. And so I'll explain sort of what each one is as I go through. But the first thing I'm going to do in part 1 is basically 10 big blinds or less. And you can see I have a bunch of other stack sizes that I'm going to cover as I get through the video. But basically 3-bet folding. So what is 3-bet folding? So 3-bet folding means that I 3-bet you and then I'll fold to a 4-bet. And so really, I usually say to people, if you're going to 3-bet with a hand, it should be a hand that you're either instantly folding or instantly calling if the person 4-bets. There shouldn't really ever be a huge decision to make, because if you have a chance to 3-bet fold, it should really be bad hands that you're 3-bet folding. You should never really 3-bet good hands and then fold. And typically, at 10 big blinds or less, you're never going to 3-bet fold, because your 3-bet's all in, really. I mean, unless you're making like the old 5 big blind raise and leaving yourself 5 big blinds back.